சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா? Do you know why? In the medical textbooks it is written that you must eat wheat only, because wheat gluten is a direct poison to the pancreas's beta cells. So if you start eating wheat, you are permanently a diabetic as long as you live. Even if you live 10 years extra, it is good business for them, because 10 more years you will buy their medicines. Did you get that? But look at this poor rice. Brown rice has a cover which we call as taudu, which has got a chemical called metadicol, which is a treatment for diabetes. Question is how much you eat. So don't eat anything in excess, but what you love to eat. This is the best philosophy in life. Now this is how we chronify disease. So our biggest problem is diagnosis. An American professor at Yale, she wrote a beautiful study in the American Journal of Medicine, which is called The End of Disease Era. She said, if we go after diseases, all people will be sick. So the whole population is sick for us to treat, which is a good catchment area, and we can make better business. But I have classified diseases differently for this talk. That's called emergency illness, which needs modern medicine, 2%. Minor illness syndromes, common cold, feverish cold, sore throat, and flu-like illness. Today, if you go to Bangalore city and find out, 90% of the people have upper respiratory infection in winter. On a given day in Europe, 55 million people cannot go to work because of feverish cold. You know feverish cold, Sita Jwara? Feverish cold is not common cold. There are two different entities. Let's not go into that because there's no time. So 50 million people don't go to work. And what happens to this 50 million? They're all given antibiotics so that their immune system changes and they become asthmatics after some time. And what a job loss, 50 million. But if you know simple homeopathy, extensive studies have been done in England on this. There are simple two drugs, arum trifolatum and sambucus nigra. You can get relief in 2 hours, 5 minutes. The latest treatment for sore throat is very, very simple. Just sip hot water, hot, H-O-T, not warm water, real hot water, not hot water. Sit in a place, take a mug of hot water, sip, keep on sipping. When once you have raised your throat and head sent by 1 degree centigrade higher, the viruses die and you are okay. If you want to prevent this in winter, I'll give you a simple. Buy a bowl which is silver bowl or a silver glass, large glass. Keep water in that at night. Early morning you get up and drink that. You get nano silver which protects you from upper respiratory viruses. So 55 million people can go to work, and you see the productivity in Europe. If 55 million in Europe can't go to work, imagine we are 1.3 crores. 1.3 billion. And 1.3 billion people, it must be at least about 100 million or a million people who are not able to go to work because of the cold, fever, etc., etc. So the next large chunk can make do with simple medicines. 3 medicines I have given you. The next large chunk of disease is called what Paul was telling about. Doctor thinks you have a disease syndrome. You have nothing. You go for a checkup. You are labeled. That disease is called doctor thinks you have a disease syndrome. You don't have a disease. Now, one of the commonest diseases is you go for a checkup, your cholesterol is on the higher side. Now, for the last about 30 odd years, we have made cholesterol a ghost. But now I am very happy because I have been fighting against it, against all odds, saying that cholesterol is good. The more the merrier, longer you live, and you don't get cancer if you have higher cholesterol, because every cell wall is made of cholesterol. And if you don't have cholesterol, the cell wall is not made properly. And if the cell wall is not properly, you get cancer higher. Anyway, now the American government has cleared cholesterol not as an enemy, but as a friend. With a beautiful picture in the Time magazine last month, with 2 bullseyes, egg bullseyes, and with some bacon through there, and said, best breakfast for you. And they said, don't fry your thing in oil, fry it in lard. Which means cholesterol is good for you. That's a good sign. But anyway, now you go around the world and take in India, every other person is taking cholesterol lowering drugs. Very dangerous. Cholesterol lowering drugs are chemicals which block the normal enzymes in the liver. Imagine, liver is your chemical factory without which you can't survive. And you knock off your liver and go about it, how can you survive? And everybody who takes the cholesterol lowering drugs, from the first drug, cholesterol in the 50s, to statins today, the end result is more people have met their maker in heaven faster. So if you want to enhance your exit from this world, one of the best things is to take cholesterol lowering drugs. A study in France recently showed that women who are more than 90 years in the old nursing homes, their cholesterols are in 800, 900, 700 range. They're very healthy. And nobody has checked them, luckily. Now there is another, this is about 10% of the population is doctor thinks you have a disease syndrome. Because normal, Amitabh Bachchan goes for a checkup. Is he normal? No, he's not 5.4. What's our treatment? Cut his leg, make him 5.4. Then next day, Jaya Bachchan goes for a checkup. Is she normal? No, 4.6. What's the treatment? Transplant that leg to her. As now my friend Paul was saying, this beautiful girl, Angelina Jolie, poor thing. Paul, is he here? He did very well. Give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. Where is he? Angelina Jolie was told by her geneticist that you have genes which might give you breast cancer. So why have the breast? Why do women have the breast when you are young to attract a male, and when you are in the middle age to feed your child? When you have done both, get rid of it so that your risk of cancer is gone. So she was told, and foolish girl, she agreed and had her breast removed. Then one job for the breast surgeon. Then the ready plastic surgeon is there to reconstruct a more beautiful breast. And that was done. Then I wrote an article saying that this foolish girl unfortunately has lost her breast, but doesn't matter, it's good for the industry, because as Paul rightly said, genes have no role to play in our life. It is the environment that has everything to do. That's called epigenetics, above the genes. And because human chromosome, one which holds the gene, has only 23,000 human genes, but 2.5 trillion germ genes, which means you are more of a germ's child than your parents' child. If you want to know we'll get cancer or not, you must study all those germs' ancestors. A literal, but we don't say that. This genetics has died long back, but we still do genetic engineering because there's big business. Epigenetics, if you talk, there's no business there. So now we come back to our genes. These are not our enemies, they are our friends. And you would be surprised to know that meditation, which Guruji has taught you, you do it daily. Your chromosomes have got two shoe knots on the either side. They are called telomeres. It's like the shoe has a shoelace and metal ring. To keep the chromosomes, genes together, they got two rings at the either side. This is called telomeres. As you age older, this becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. When it becomes very small, you are dead. Now meditation makes it longer, longer, longer and longer. Epigenetics tells you that is what is called gene penetrance. You may have a gene, but that doesn't produce disease. If the environment is conducive, then the gene can penetrate and produce disease. This gene penetrance depends on the environment, and the environment depends on tranquility of mind. And the tranquility of mind is what yoga says, chitta, vritti, nirodha, yoga. So meditation will make you tranquil, irrespective of what method of meditation. I have a simple method of meditation. Simply sit quietly, close your eyes in a quiet place, don't pick up your phone and don't react to anything, and just 20 minutes later you open your eyes, you are so tranquil. A study was done in industry in Vijayawada. There is an industry called Siri industry, and 2,000 people worked there. So the chairman one day thought, he gave them half an hour free in the morning as they come, and he built a big hall. And he himself came, old man, 80 years, and he took a mic and said, all of you close your eyes for 5 minutes and say, Om after me. And everybody did that. His director said, you're losing unnecessary half an hour. That means 1,000 hours gone, and you'll lose your business. But on the contrary, his business improved. But what he found was, a lot of them were not closing their eyes. They had a holiday, Then he said, if you keep your eyes closed for half an hour, just keep your eyes closed for half an hour, you'll get 10 rupees extra in the pay. 100% compliance. They were keeping it closed for longer than 5 minutes. See, this shows you our obsession about money.